Master Miller. Well, he's been dead this whole time, but we might as well learn about him now. The reason I didn't bring him up when I was talking about the rest of the codec crew was because the repeating voice actor may have given something away. Kazuhiro Benedict Miller was born in 1946 in Japan, and assuming he was still alive, would have meant he was in his late 50s in this game. Apparently his mother was a hooker, and one session with an American GHQ agent is the reason that Kazuhiro Benedict Miller here was born. Kazuhiro had some difficulties growing up in Japan, since his dad returned to the United States before Kazuhiro was born. The kids would make fun of him because of how white he looked, and couldn't get Japanese citizenship because his father was unknown, which is apparently how it worked at that time. His dad left some money for his mom before he left, though, and she used it to set up a shop selling stuff to occupation troops. When Kazuhiro was 10 years old, his mother became ill, forcing him to run the shop himself. When his mother had become bedridden, he had come across a picture of his father and started asking soldier customers if they knew who the guy in the picture was, and eventually found out from one of his father's students that the man was Colonel Miller, who'd since retired and become an instructor. Kazuhiro wanted to go to the United States anyway, and the desire to meet his father only sweetened the deal, so he eventually sent a letter to his dad requesting to travel there. Eventually his request was granted, so Kazuhiro Miller left his mom behind and went to the United States to get an education. While there, he discovered that his dad had another son who died in the Vietnam War, which was the cause of his father's depression at that time. After taking his father's surname of Miller, Kazuhiro was funded with the money needed to enroll in an Ivy League school, and later graduating from it with a degree. They never really say what kind. He returned to Japan afterwards to find that his mother wasn't mad that he left her behind. In fact, she didn't even realize who he was. Apparently, from her days as a prostitute, his mother had been infected with something that had begun to impact her brain. Shortly thereafter, Kazuhiro joined the Japan Self-Defense Forces to both pay for his mom's hospital bills and as a way of getting a taste of the battlefield. While in the JSDF, Kazuhiro was apparently a really good cop, but for some reason his superiors feared his abilities and didn't promote him as quickly as he should have been. This, in addition to his craving for a more active battlefield, led Kazuhiro to leave the JSDF, fueled further by witnessing Yukio Mishima's suicide at the JSDF headquarters. He returned to the United States only to be told that his father had committed suicide and was already buried. After his mother had died, Kazuhiro Miller wandered the world as a mercenary and earned himself a reputation as quite a ladies' man. Later in Colombia, Miller met Big Boss on opposing sides. Big Boss and his men had already killed all of Miller's unit, and Miller was preparing to kill himself with a grenade to die fighting. His samurai-style fighting spirit impressed Big Boss, who convinced Kazuhiro Miller to join his small mercenary group. After that, well, Peace Walker! Eventually, he split away from Big Boss and changed his name to McDonald Benedict Miller, and served as a survival master within the SAS, Green Berets, U.S. Marine Boot Camp, and Foxhound. During his time as a drill sergeant for Foxhound, he was referred to as Hellmaster, and the draftees would call him Master Miller, with all due respect. He also trained Solid Snake while he was there, in things such as how to sense an enemy without having to rely on vision alone, the different ways you could decipher transceiver frequency codes, enduring torture, more close-range combat, and common objects you can hide under. Miller also got married, had a daughter named Catherine, later divorced, and lived with his daughter in Los Angeles. In 1999, Master Miller assisted Solid Snake with information on how to play Metal Gear 2 better. Afterwards, he retired, moved to Alaska in a big house while occasionally helping train the Alaskan Scouts. Then, this game happened. Being that he was secretly liquid the entire time in this game and that I haven't completely played Peace Walker yet, I really can't judge much about Master Miller other than how useless he mostly was in this game. His role in the story could have just as easily been Otacon or Mei Ling, and the reveal as Liquid didn't really mean all that much. It was an interesting idea, and it wasn't horribly wasted, it's just difficult to see the necessity of it all. Master Miller also gives you conversations in this game about things that will rarely affect you, such as real-life Alaska and war trivia, as well as some more fourth wall breaking. Exactly like Liquid, Master Miller's English voice actor is Cam Clark, and his Japanese voice is Banjo Ginga. It's funny how my preference is actually reversed for their performances as Liquid. Cam Clark sounds like a buddy you would have in high school, which gives him the right sound for the idea that he's Snake's old ally, but he doesn't really sound like an old wise man you'd ask for advice. Banjo Ginga's deeper and more elderly performance as Master Miller is a more fitting voice for a hardened veteran, and the one I prefer in this role. Master Miller has appeared in 4 games.